And we welcome you into the Unrivaled Postgame Show. Penn State wraps up its regular season with a 42-0 victory on the road at Ford Field, taking on Michigan State on this Friday night. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there watching as the Nittany Lions victorious by a 42-0 final score tonight. And we'll bring in Amari Evans here in the Penn State, pitching a shutout for the third time this season. The offense, Amari, 586 yards, 303 of those through the air. You're obviously a big part of that here tonight, 283 yards on the ground for the Penn State offense as well. Omar, let's talk about what was clicking offensively. What do you feel like you were able to do as an offense to get into a rhythm right off the bat tonight?
Everything was clicking together, the play calls, the run opening up the pass, and the pass opening up the run. So, yeah, we had a very successful night. Okay,
you have to take us through the deep ball. Obviously, that's set up on a play-action pass. I know you wanted to get into the end zone, but you go 60 yards downfield on a home run shot from Drew. We're taking a look at it right here.
Yeah, man, I mean, I just wanted to catch it at first, and then.
You mentioned it, that running game setting up the deep pass. It looked like the safety wasn't able to keep up with you there.
Yeah.
He's looking in the backfield the way Nick and Katron were running the ball tonight.
He was like, man, you fast. Yeah, man.
What allows Drew to put such a good ball out there for you? What makes him such a talented quarterback?
His arm power, like, even though his shoulder was a little – roughed up, he still put it on the money, so that was very.
I'm glad you mentioned that because Drew goes 17 for 26 in this game, 292 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And obviously getting into a rhythm, you just look 10 different guys catching a pass here tonight. What was it against the Michigan State defense you guys saw coming in that you could exploit them in a bunch of different ways?
We saw they had a lot of young DBs on the field, so we wanted to take advantage of that. And, they play very soft coverage, so we knew we could find the zones to get open and get easy completions going to get them in a rhythm.
Obviously talking about the passing game here, but the offense, Katron Allen, 15 carries, 137 yards. Nicholas Singleton, 18 carries, 118 yards and a touchdown. First time since 2019 against Rutgers that two running backs go for over 100 yards in the same game. What makes watching those two guys each and every day in practice, but on a fast track like there was out there tonight, what was it like watching those two do what they did out there running the football?
It's amazing watching them do what they do because they're just so good. And I don't know, they got the other team saying, wow, I think the other team are happy just to be on the field with them at the same time.
Yeah, you see it right here. And it all starts with those guys up front, protecting Drew, protecting Bo, and then their ability to run the ball behind that offensive line. What makes that front five so good for your team?
I mean, they're very committed in what we do, and they're built, what's the word?
They're tough. They're physical. They're built together. They have great camaraderie along that line, brotherhood.
And they just love being out there doing what they do. So big shout out to the linemen. Those guys they're good.
What was the mindset coming into this game, knowing that it is a short week, and I know it was for both teams, but you have the holiday, you're coming on the road to a neutral site venue. What was the message all week long to make sure you guys were ready to go to end this thing the right way in the regular season?
Just make every week, make this week look like every week. Even though it's a short week, we still gotta come in, work hard every day, play fast, and practice, and just make every week as good as every week. This week as good as every week.
Well, congrats on a great win to wrap it up here in the regular season. Appreciate the time, Amari. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Penn State wins it by a 42-0 final score here tonight, defeating Michigan State right here at Ford Field. Once again, offense, 586 total yards, 283 on the ground, 303 through the air. 8.7 yards per play for the Penn State offense. Went through some of the outstanding offensive numbers for the Penn State offense here in this game. And let's focus on that Penn State defense now. The Penn State defense holding Michigan State to no points, the third shutout this season. 68 total yards, negative 20 rushing yards for Michigan State in this game, 88 passing yards, and in the second half, the Spartans held to negative 32 yards. You see the lone takeaway in the game there coming from Jalen Reed. Great pressure all game long by that Penn State front. Once again, making life difficult for Michigan State. Great pass breakup by KJ Winston. And looking at some of the great plays, Abdul Carter had a big game here. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss once again as Penn State defeats Michigan State by a 42-0 final score here at Ford Field tonight. And we're joined by Kobe King, linebacker for that Penn State defense. Just 68 total yards for the opponent, and you pitch a shutout for the third time this season. As you're going into that game, and it keeps continuing on, and Michigan State still doesn't have a point on that scoreboard, how important was it just to make sure that this game ended with a 0 up there?
Oh, it was very important. We kind of emphasized it. Well, Coach Manny kind of emphasized it at halftime, but we all felt the same way. But it was important because we had a chip on our shoulder, and we think of ourselves as the best defense, and kind of showed that today, and that's what we had to do.
Michigan State, that first drive, moved the ball down the field a little bit, and then Jalen came up. Another Detroit kid comes up with that big interception inside the red zone. Where do you feel like you really settled in after that drive, and what allowed the defense then to set the tone the rest of the game?
I would say we settled in. I would just say it was, first drive is kind of, you don't know what you're going to get. You might have some expectations, some things you might think about that you're going to get, but, it all might be different than what you game planned during the week. But Jay Reed had a big play, and that shifted the whole momentum of the game. And as a defense, we kind of stepped up and, had to pick up our urgency. So.
What did it mean to see him come up with a big play? Yourself here from Detroit, your brother Kalen, Theo getting into the end zone. He's from right across the river in Windsor, Ontario. Like this is a big homecoming for you guys, and it seemed like everyone rose to the occasion on a night like tonight.
I was like, I couldn't even explain the words for Jay Reed. I don't even remember what I said. I just got hyped. I dapped him up, slapped his helmet a couple times. I was happy for him. And then Theo, amazing game. Jay Reed, amazing game. Just happy for those guys making big plays and, my hometown field.
This is and has been one of the best run defenses in the country all year long. You hold Michigan State to negative 20 rushing yards today. They, as a team, negative 32 yards in the second half. Your defense pitched 8 3-and-outs. Michigan State only 5 first downs. Those are some pretty impressive numbers. I know there's kind of sinking in as I read them to you here. But what's made this defense so good against the run, not just tonight, but all year long?
I would just say, like, the intentionality we had in just stopping the run, kind of from last year, we had a little bit of room to grow and stopping the run, but we kind of kept the chip on our shoulder and the urgency to make that a big point of emphasis for us as a defense during this year. So that's really it.
And then you're able to make a team one-dimensional. When you have a team one-dimensional, what's that allow you to do with your mindset and mentality defensively?
Defensively, it allows us to open up the playbook a little bit, because when they stop running the ball, they stop passing, we can do certain things. But, it was great that we made them one-dimensional and certain guys made plays, and we got a lot of new guys and younger guys in the game too. So.
And I want to flip it around. Two questions here for you, then we'll let you get on out of here. Enjoy this victory, 42-0 over Michigan State to wrap up the regular season. You talk about being one-dimensional and forcing a team to be one-dimensional. As you watch on the sideline, see what your offense is doing, where that play-action game, the running game's going, Drew's in a rhythm. Can you just speak to what that allows an offense to do, the way that the offense, I know you're on the sideline getting ready to go back out there, but when that offense is humming the way it was tonight for Penn State, that complementary football, what they did, what makes them such a challenge to defend?
Oh, man, I would just say it's the way we practice as a team, them bringing the best out of us and us bringing the best out of them, and it's just on Saturday. Everything is not going to be perfect, but what we practice and what we game plan has come into effect today. So
I saw you walk out there on the field before the game. I know you played here before, and you're feeling that turf. What's it mean to get this type of win back here at home?
I mean, I emphasized it during yesterday. We usually have a defensive unit meeting, and I kind of told those guys I've been here twice, lost twice, and I'm gonna get my first win with y'all here tomorrow. So spoke into existence, and we had a great game, great day, and had it with my guys. My guy Fat Man right there, it was a great day. It was a great day to get my first win in Ford Field.
And you're going home with the Land Grant Trophy.
Yes, sir.
You pick it up, it's heavy.
It is. It was 3 guys holding it with me. Crazy.
Kobe, really appreciate it. Congrats on the
Appreciate
victory.
you. Thank
Penn
you.
State defeats Michigan State by a 42-0 final score here tonight at Ford Field. Nittany Lions victorious. One thing we didn't talk about yet, all the explosive plays from that Penn State offense here in this game. 6 passing plays of 15 or more yards, 6 running plays of 10 or more yards, and able to get the running backs involved also in that passing game. Here's Drew Aller into the open field, finding Keandre Lambert-Smith. I thought the distribution, again, Aller, 17 for 26, 292 yards, and a couple of touchdowns here today. We just spoke to Amari Evans here on set moments ago with our exclusive Unrivaled postgame show live here from the bowels of Ford Field. A 42-0 Penn State win. There's the catch to Theo Johnson. You see the tight ends, the running backs, everyone involved. And obviously the ground game. This is a nasty run from Katron Allen. Katron breaking into the secondary and using his legs, turning down inside the red zone. Just an excellent game for the Penn State running backs. Again, Allen, 15 carries, 137 yards. Nick Singleton, 18 carries, 118 yards, and a touchdown. We saw Bo Perbula and the way he impacted the game when he was on the field as well. And you just see Allen, just a great run with his physicality, his speed down the sideline. And here is Singleton in the passing game. And Drew Aller, just that quick release, getting it out into space. And and then he turns on the afterburners going down the sideline. And here you go, the Prabula touchdown pass to Tyler Warren, a little pitch and catch along the sideline. You just saw so many different facets, the different ways that this Penn State offense can attack a defense here tonight. And again, it's Prabula getting guys involved in that aspect down inside the red zone, just another factor, and Drew Aller was extremely sharp here to wrap up the regular season. There's Prabula rushing it in as well. Each of the Penn State touchdowns scored by a different player here tonight, so 5 different players with a touchdown, and just an outstanding performance for the Penn State offense and defense. They played complementary football and had an outstanding victory here by a final score of 42-0 over Michigan State, wrap up the regular season at 10-2 and 7-2 in the Big Ten. And there is Singleton into the end zone for one final score for the 42-0 Penn State victory here at Ford Field, defeating Michigan State in what was a great crowd here tonight as well. Attendance 51,927 here on Black Friday inside Ford Field. So the Nittany Lions, again, victorious by a final score of 42-0. Let's go back through some of those defensive highlights again throughout this game, because when you look at the numbers that this defense posted, just some ridiculous numbers that you don't see. Just 68 total yards against, negative 20 rushing yards, 88 passing yards against. Adisa Isaac had 7 tackles, a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss. Abdul Carter, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. They're just making life difficult on Hauser, the Michigan State quarterback, all night long. Curtis Jacobs, a sack and a half and a tackle for loss and a half. KJ Winston, a couple of pass breakups. You just saw one there. There's denied Dennis Sutton getting into the act off the edge. The pressure all night long. And Kobe King coming up and filling the gap on a screen play. Just an impressive play by Kobe King in that facet. And Penn State, you look back at this game a couple of times early in the game, drives stalled out. They had to settle for field goals. Then they were able, second half, to really punch it in for the touchdowns, and just a great performance here to wrap up the regular season on the road at Michigan State. Dominate time of possession 35-50 and played that complementary football. This defense with 8 3-and-outs, Michigan State only 5 first downs in the entire game. We talked about Singleton's rushing yards. Should mention too, as you make one last mention of the offense, he had 186 total yards in this game here tonight as well. So Penn State wins it by a 42-0 final score. Our exclusive post-game coverage here from Ford Field. The Nittany Lions end the regular season at 10-2 and go 7-2 in Big Ten play. Well, I'm Brian Tripp saying so long from Ford Field tonight. Great work by Ross Woomer, our producer, for the Unrivaled post-game show. Appreciate all your comments. Appreciate everyone watching. And thank you for tuning in all season long to our exclusive coverage of Penn State football. We'll have plenty of content coming up, leading up after the bowl announcement, leading up to the bowl game, as we get set for what should be a great bowl season. Thanks again for tuning in. Big victory today. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. This has been the Unrivaled postgame show from Michigan State.